This is Luis Alvarado from the University of Nebraska, and you're watching Tomahawk Talk.
Episode 24 of Tomahawk Talk. The Braves lose 1-0 for the second consecutive game. Michael Stern, joined on my right by Troy Lynch and on my left by Kyle Kercheval. Guys, it was a tough one tonight. The Braves lost to the Mariners 1-0 in 11 innings 2 days ago. Thought a Fenway Park workout day might work out some of the kinks for the Braves, but unfortunately, we almost saw the same exact game. The good part of seeing the same exact game was more great pitching for the Braves, Troy, and it started with A.J. Moore.
Yeah, he got the start tonight, and we saw him the last time the Falmouth Commodores came to Bourne Park to play the Bourne Braves. However, it was a completely different pitcher. Last time we saw AJ, he only pitched around 4 innings and he gave up 3 runs. This time he went into the 7th without giving up a run. Then he gets the first batter out, and then he gives up a double and then a triple. So that was just a good sequence of hits coming from the Falmouth Commodores in that inning. So then after that, it's a 1-0 ball game. Brendan Little comes in, and then he inherits a few runners. The runner on third, which was in the form of Watson, I believe. Yes, it was. And then Larnett comes on. He gets down in the count 3-0, eventually comes back, strikes him out, and then he gets the other batter to be retired. Then in the next inning, he pitched another great inning, gave up 1 hit in the leadoff batter, but obviously that's not a problem with Brendan Little. He's got some nasty stuff, blowing by fastballs and also just getting them with the off-speed pitches.
Moore and Little held the Commodores to 1 run, but Falmouth pitching held Bourne to only 1 hit. That isn't to say, Kyle, that the Braves didn't have their chances. The biggest one came in the 8th inning. They were just unable to score.
Yeah, they did, Michael, and it seems right now for the Braves that everything is going against them. They have really struggled offensively for the last week. You come into the game tonight, it's probably the coldest night we've had in the last few weeks. That doesn't help your bats. You have the wind blowing in from the outfield, so you don't have that going for you. A couple balls we saw specifically from Connor McVeigh hit very hard, just don't go anywhere. The wind really holds things down. We saw that affect McKinnon over here in left field. So offensively, a lot of struggles. Did get a hit, Connor McVeigh, and we also did see a bunt for hit. It went down in the scorebook, or at least on the scoreboard, as an error. I think it was a hit by Jake Mangum with the drag bunt. I'd like to see Harvey Shapiro implementing those more into the game plan. I'm glad we started to see that in the early innings. It kind of fell off afterwards. It's almost like the at-bats started to deteriorate. The deeper they went into games, less adjustments were being made. Guys were swinging at pitches way above their hands. And if you do that, you're beating yourself. If you don't give yourself a chance by putting the ball in play, then you've already lost.
And Kyle, the Braves had a good opportunity there in the 8th inning, but they weren't able to come away with anything.
Yeah, that pop-up over to first base totally nullifies everything. And that's exactly what I was talking about, Michael. The fact that you need to know your situation, you need to make the adjustment. Here I'm waiting for a strike at least. I'm waiting for 2 strikes. In some cases, I'm not swinging at it unless it's in my tiny little box that I know I can crush. You're swinging at pitches not in that box. You're swinging at pitches above your hands. You're not giving yourself a chance.
And the Braves lost today by the final score of 1-0. The nothing's not very pretty, but the 1 is pretty nice. And you talked to the starting pitcher that was largely responsible for the low number from Falmouth, A.J. Moore.
For the second straight loss, it's a 1-0 loss for the Bourne Braves, and while the offense has been sputtering, the pitching has been fantastic. I'm joined by A.J. Moore, one of the biggest pieces for the pitching tonight, specifically for the Braves. A.J., your last start against YD wasn't your best of the season, however, you bounced back big time tonight, 4 strikeouts in 6 innings. What was the biggest change you made?
Over the week, I really just worked on lowering my fastball and not elevating as much, just get the batters to beat it into the ground as much as possible. It ended up the other way. Everybody was hitting the ball up in the air, but it worked out regardless. So.
As I mentioned, the offense has really been struggling for the Braves over the course of the last week. Does that do anything to you mentally when you go on the mound knowing that maybe I'm not going to get a lot of run support?
No, you gotta get out there with the same mindset every single time, and you just gotta let your hitters hit. I mean, it'll come and go, but you just gotta trust that your bats are going to work for you that day.
Well, it was a rough night for most of the Braves tonight. You did get a day off yesterday in the form of Fenway Park. As a pitcher, you didn't really have to show off for anyone. You just got to go and hang out a little bit. What was that experience like?
It was really cool. I've never seen Fenway before. Just stepping on the field was just incredible. I can't describe the feeling. And getting to see David Price, a big leaguer, throw in front of us and just see what he does on an off day or whatever was pretty cool.
A fantastic experience for A.J. Moore and a fantastic experience for the rest of the Braves. A.J., thank you for joining me tonight. I'll send it back to Tomahawk Talk.
That was Kyle with AJ Moore, and now it's time, guys, to pick our players of the game. Kyle, you do all the legwork first with the interviews, so I'll start with you. Who do you think shone brightest tonight in the Braves' 1-0 loss to the Commodores?
It's got to be Brennan Little tonight. Every time this guy steps on the mound, he's got a shot at that player of the game opportunity. We saw it tonight. Came in a sticky situation, was able to get out of it, got into a bit of a rough situation the next inning where he came in, got the leadoff guy on, was able to get the next out, had an 0-2 count, throws a curveball, hits a batter, puts a guy on base. Once that happens, sometimes you start to think, oh gosh, maybe he's falling apart here. Anytime you hit someone on 0-2, never a good sign. Battled back, the guy is striking out guys left and right. Hitters just cannot catch up to his 95, 96 mile an hour fastball. It's a fantastic weapon to have. It's something you can go to on 3-2 pitches, and Brennan Little continues to shine, and he did so to help the Braves pitching effort again tonight.
So Kyle going with Brendan Little, who continues to pitch well out of the bullpen. Troy, who's your player of the game?
My player is going to be Brennan Bro, and I know he didn't get a hit tonight, but that doesn't mean he didn't get on base. He actually, in 3 of his at-bats, walked twice, and the reason why he's my player of the game is because he walked in very key situations, and he's putting the Bourne Braves in great positions to score. However, the problem being they're not driving him in. So that's the problem. But Brennan Bro, he also played a pretty good right field today. And the reason I say that is because it was extra difficult just based on the wind. So there was a lot of miscommunications, a lot of pop-ups, and that's also the difficulty is just accelerated when that happens because the wind was blowing so hard tonight. Everybody was freezing. So just to see his discipline and his control at the plate is really rewarding, and I think that's something that's going to help him and the rest of the Bourne Braves going forward.
So Troy goes with Bro after Kyle goes with Little, and I'll give a second tip of the cap to AJ Moore, the right-hander from Kennesaw State. What cold, he says, as he wears his top button undone and dominates the Commodores for 6 1/3 innings. A hard luck loser, but he pitched like a winner tonight. Unfortunately, in baseball, sometimes that's how things go. For my partners, Kyle Kercheval and Troy Lynch, I'm Michael Stern. That'll just about do it for this episode of Tomahawk Talk. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Red Miller Park in YD, home of the world-famous Donut Burger. Tonight, it was a donut for the Bourne Braves as they fell short against the Commodores 1-0. Have a good night.